all have our trials, but we're never alone. That's what makes our trials triumphant. Trials and Triumphs with your host, Pastor Ladena Boo.
Good morning. It's Ladena Boo from Stockton, Missouri. And my guest today is Dr. Cyndi, who's trying to hide there. Hi, Dr. Cyndi.
Good morning.
She was leaning
Pastor
down and didn't
Ladena.
see me. Cyndi was on our last show, High Octane, and I hope all of you caught that. She does a fabulous job on, bringing things to light that a lot of people misconstrue. And she's got a lot of really good topics. If you can go back and watch some of her shows, and you'll be abundantly blessed. And she's also got a podcast called The Alabaster Box, correct?
Correct.
And what is the
you can hear
Alabaster
them.
Box all about?
The Alabaster Box is my counseling podcast ministry, and it's where I will talk about different counseling issues, and topics. I don't know my exact schedule, but it is on the RFA, and it's played 3 days a week.
Mhm.
And so if you uh, get the app called Get Me Radio, if you go to the
Yeah.
Play Store, Get Me Radio, and get the app, and then you go to, and it's Radio Free America. And they have, I know that there's all kinds of music, and then there's different pastors, I believe, that are on there
Mhm.
that have their podcasts, as well as mine. I'm working. I'm working on my YouTube, the YouTube channel for that as well. So um,
Mhm. Yep. Well,
eventually, that'll.
yeah, we're all working at probably a snail's pace, but it feels like we're all inundated with work, trying to get everything more open and for people to hear the stuff that Axe Media Group puts out. And Radio Free
Yes,
America
ma'am.
is a portion of the Axe Media Group, and it's the weekends are awesome. We have Pastor Joe. He was here first thing this morning for a cup of sunrise. He does the weekend shows there, and we have some national broadcasts on there, and then our podcasts and our shows are also rebroadcast on Radio Free America. So if you miss us, you can always hear us. Just get the app,
Yeah.
the Get Me Radio, and go to Radio Free America. We're advertising X Media Group today for some reason. Well, I know the reason, because Dr. Cyndi and I have a new show coming up.
You do.
I'm kind of
You
excited
think
about it.
I am very excited about it. Excuse me. And you think, we just keep getting a little bolder and bolder, but between the two of us, we both are like-minded in so many issues,
Right.
and with the Constitution, it's like nobody's talking about the Constitution and lining it up with the Bible anymore.
Right.
It's just a distraction. So we have a new show that's coming up the fourth Sunday of each month so far.
Correct. So far,
Okay, and then
we want
it's
more
called
shows.
yeah, it's called the Black Robe Patriots. And if you would like to
Mhm.
give them the story about the Black Robes
Yep.
Regiment.
Well, the Black Robe Regiment, back in the times of the Revolutionary War, the pastors would be up there in their pulpits, and they'd give their sermons on a Sunday morning, and they had their black robes on. And then whenever they left the pulpit, they went out and fought for our country.
Mhm.
The pulpit was roaring with these people, trying to, make them understand that we needed our separation from England. And so we're taking on that concept with Black Robe Patriots, because we need to take our country back. We need to get
Amen.
some Christians standing up, and you can't just sit back and say, "Oh, God will take care of it." God will take care of it, but He expects you to do something.
Exactly. Exactly. Hold the line. That's why I got my shirt today. Hold the line. Hold the
Yeah.
line. Um, you know, yeah, people got to stand up. You
Mhm.
have to stand up. We're going to be accountable for what we do and what we don't do. And when we see a wrong and we are able to do something about that, we need to. We need to. Even if
Right.
it's right now, bringing this show to fruition and getting it out there and saying, hey, this is what we need to do. This needs to be done. Take part. If you have an idea that, hey, this needs to be boycotted, or I need to say something about this, step up and say it. Step up and
Right.
say it. It's the quiet ones. It's the quiet ones that you know what's going on. You know it's bad. You know it's illegal. But when you are silent, you are saying something. You're
Right.
you're allowing it, and you're just as
Your
guilty.
silence is allowing our country to be destroyed from the inside. And,
Amen. Yep.
they've said ever since our nation was established, they said the only way they could take us down was from the inside. And they're working on that now. They're very close to accomplishing that task. You know,
Yep.
we want to take on,
Yes.
well, our first show will be about the hoax of separation of church and state. They've
Yep.
twisted that all around and, demanded that churches do various things like shut down during the pandemic. And that was totally illegal. They couldn't do that. There were a few
Right.
pastors that left their churches open. I left mine open. I had all
Yeah.
kinds of new people come in and visit during the pandemic. But,
Right.
the feds could not do that, but they did it anyway. And nobody stepped up to argue the point. We got to get
Exactly.
together
Yeah.
and go against these things that are illegal in our world. And if you don't know the Constitution, by the time Cindy and I get through with you, you're going to know it real well, okay?
Ye- That's right. That's right. Because you know what? It's not that, hey, we're going to shove this. You should know it. As an American citizen, born and bred
Hmm.
American citizen, you should know your Constitution because those are your rights. Those are
Right.
your rights. And you should
Um,
know your rights. And you should know that if somebody is trying to violate your rights and they they dumb these people down so that you
right.
don't even know what your rights are. And if they say, well, I can do that, oh no you can, it's like, I beg your pardon. And they don't know any better, so they go along with it. But
Hmm.
those that know, you legally cannot do this without this and this and this, or I have the right to do this and this. They can't argue with that. They can't
Hmm.
because it's the Constitution, and they can't say, "Oh, well, that's changed now." No, it hasn't. You can't change the
You can't go back and
Constitution.
erase our founding documents, and we've got to understand what our rights are so that we can fight for what is right, fight for what
Exactly.
we believe in. And so many people are just like, oh well, somebody will fix it. And it's like, no, they're not going to fix it till you stand up and say something.
Exactly. Exactly. What just like that's what I'm saying. It's all of the same thing. I'm putting a book together. Yeah, that's coming along slowly, but the Lord put it on my heart a year or so ago. So I'm just slowly. I'll write a page and I'll write a page, and but it's showing itself now because as you can see how um, with what the enemy is doing
Right.
to this country and wants to change everything and wants to uh it this Democrat party wants to write a whole new constitution.
Yeah,
They want to
and
try to write an.
they
That's
want
what's
to
going to
make
happen.
Washington
Mhm.
D.C. the 51st state. That's
Yeah,
illegal, okay? Our founding documents put that piece of ground and had it separate and not in a state so that nobody could claim uh, undue influence. And so this idiocy of trying to make it the 51st state, that's in violation of our Constitution.
exactly. Exactly. But you know what? It's these people that they the the the, the, the devil is using money and power
Mhm.
to be able to manipulate and silence these people. And it's like, do you not realize that there's going to come a time, and it is with everybody, you're not going to be able to take it with you. We got to see that. Like I used this analogy before, like with the Titanic. All those rich billionaires that said, here, I'll give you this money, you know, get me off the ship, get me off this, and get me into a safe
Mhm.
ship. And they came to a point where they're like, they just threw the money away because they're like, that money's worthless. Your money is
Right.
worthless now. We are sinking. It's not going to do you any good. So, but you see, they have all their money put away, and everything that they've done, all the money laundering, all of that, and then they come and say, oh well, you can't do this, we're going to do that, you don't have the right to do this, and you are, like I was going to say, like a groomer, just like a groomer who has done something to a child. What do they say? don't don't tell your mother or your dad or anybody, because then they'll take you away, or you won't be able to see me anymore, we won't be able to have any more fun and go to the park or anything anymore. So what do? They say, oh, those Christians and those people, those conservatives, those Republicans, they are domestic terrorists. They're bad.
Right.
They want to do this and this, and it's like, that's not true. That's not true. By the way,
Well,
if
we
somebody
are
ever tells you not
classified.
to tell you,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh,
You
if
know,
if
they
anybody,
Homeland Security says we are domestic terrorists.
yeah, yeah, you know, they haven't seen anything yet. Wait till God's judgment. We don't have anything to do with that, but it says in His Word. But just as a side note, if anybody tells you and does something bad to you, or does something that puts you in a very uncomfortable position, and tells you, don't tell, don't tell, don't tell. You tell. You tell, because it's a lie. And you know
Yes.
what? You tell that they threatened you as well, because it's a stronghold. That's what groomers do. And when they fill your head up that the conservatives are terrorists, we're not. We're the ones on the good side. These people are destroying you. They're
Yeah. Well,
mutilating.
we're looking at the headlines. Cindy and I talk frequently, okay? And we're looking at the headlines and reading these articles. Like yesterday, Oregon banned Christians from adopting a child simply because they felt like Christians would not conform to transgender ideology and allow sex changes for their children and so forth. I tell you, if you allow a sex change on your child, you are a child abuser, because what they do to those children with their puberty blockers and their cross-sex hormones and so forth, they're destroying your child. They're all going to have osteoporosis in their 40s and so forth. They're going to have brittle bones. They're not going to be able to they're not going to live a full, happy life. Why
No,
do you
they
want
won't. They-
why do you want to destroy your child?
Exactly, exactly. And it says right in the Word that we are not to conform to this world, but we are being transformed by the renewing of our minds. And we don't, and see, these two words need to be defined, because these people in the world have patience and tolerance confused. They think it's
Right.
the same word. If you read in 2 Corinthians about what love is patient, love is kind, love is patient. There's nothing in there that says love is tolerant. Massey, Mike and Massey, or Massey just wrote something and he wrote in there, do not even try to say and pass that kindness is tolerance. No, it's not.
Right.
We're not tolerating. When you, I mean, look at the word, but they try to say that tolerance is love. No, it's not. No, it's
No,
not. I mean,
there's nothing
we,
tolerant about love. You've got to call out the sin. You've got to expose it. And, you have to try to cleanse their mind from this horrendous ideology, and that'll probably
exactly.
get me in trouble, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
See
gonna
that,
get me in
and
trouble.
it's that constant brainwashing that they do. And you can see it. You can see how, and you can watch that if you change the channel to all these different liberal news stations, they all repeat the same exact story and
Yeah,
repeat
well,
it and
there's
repeat
only
it.
6
And
people that own all those news stations anyway. 6 elitists
yeah,
that own all the news stations,
and
and,
they
you know, they repeat everything, okay? They're regurgitating on every channel.
yeah, yeah. And who was it that said that if you repeat a lie enough times that people will begin to believe it? Who was it that said that?
Yes,
Was that Hitler?
it may have been. I'm not sure.
I think it
You want
was.
me
Did
to
he tell
remember hi
people?
you want me to remember history here on the fly? I'm
there, you. The the thing is, people don't even realize half of their rights, the rights that they have. And do you know? I will tell you, the time that you want to hear what your rights are is when we flip and you see that there is a Republican president and we have a majority in the Senate and a majority in the House. And when they want to try to push something or push something through, listen to what the Democrats say. All of a sudden, they come up out of pocket with their constitution. That, according to the Constitution, in this amendment, it says that we're supposed to do this. Like, oh, really now? But but see, now that they have a Democrat, well, whatever in the presidency, uh, and almost almost equal, but the majority of in the Senate, but we have a Republican majority, a conservative majority in the House. But because of that, you see how they're blurring the line and
Mhm.
crossing over what is constitutional and what is unconstitutional, and weaponizing the DOJ against the people,
Right.
weaponizing the FBI and the CIA against the people, and
Well, one of the articles I read this morning was that federal agencies routinely spy on phone calls, texts, and emails of American citizens. They don't have the right to do that, but they're doing it anyway.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
You know,
they put it under the Patriot
that
Act so that we all report each other.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it just came back to that. Uh, that's what that's what got Edward Snowden in trouble because he realized, oh my gosh, they're spying on us, and that's
Mhm.
when that whole thing started. And when he reported it, when he blew the whistle, they wanted to come after him. So now
Yeah,
he lives in Russia. He can't come back here. If he comes back here, they want to do him in. You know,
right.
he whistleblowers are heroes. You
Yeah.
know, and it's just insane. I'm going to bring this up because uh, Stada um, from
Uh,
Joe's wife, Pastor Joe's wife, Stada.
from Papa
She had a text
Sunrise.
this. Yeah, she had she put a post out that said her camera automatically came on. And she said, and then a few minutes later, Pastor Joe's camera just automatically came on. She said, "Did any of you have this issue happen that your camera just automatically came on your phone?" And I'm like, weird. And that made me think of that because you were just talking about how they spy on people. And I'm like,
Right.
weird.
You can have a conversation and uh, about some particular product that you're thinking about, and automatically your phone starts popping up ads for that particular item every time.
Yep.
How does my phone
Yes.
know what I'm talking about? Or your TV set?
Exactly. 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 Um, this was weird. Uh, the other day I was at I had to do my laundry at my mom's. And right before I was getting ready to leave, I packed up the car and they bought a brand new air fryer. And they said, "Cyndi, we're going to give you this air fryer." I'm like, "Okay." And she said, "Why don't you take it home now?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I get junk mail, of course. I got this junk mail that
Mhm.
came up from Kohl's, and it said, "Congratulations, you won a new Ninja air fryer." I'm like, "Get out of here! Get out of
Yeah,
here!"
they're spying on us every way. I always joked with my husband before his death because we'd be uh, sitting there watching a show, and then all of a sudden, this little green box would pop up in the left-hand corner, and it would be there, and it'd go away, and it'd be there, and it'd go away, and we're both like, okay, they're spying on us now.
Yeah.
They've got a camera. They're looking at us. They know exactly what we're doing, and it's probably not the thing, but why does this green little box keep popping up on my smart TV?
Exactly. Exactly. And that
Uh-huh.
Roomba automatic little vacuum cleaner thing,
Yeah.
they found out that it was taking pictures of people as a way. It was taking pictures of this woman when she was in the bathroom on the potty. It was taking pictures of her. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Maybe that's the reason my floors don't get vacuumed often, because I don't have a Roomba and I'm not gonna get one now, and, they can't do anything to make me get one now, but, then we gotta get into what they're doing to our children. They are dumbing down our children. They've been doing it for
Oh,
years.
terribly.
They continue to do it. We see a rise in autism with our children and so forth, through vaccines and through, the food and things like that. There, if you've got GMO food in your body, okay, they're changing your biological structure, buy organic
Right?
food if you can, and they have shown that that stuff causes issues for people. They're coming out
Oh,
now
yeah.
about the COVID vaccines. Oh, I said that word. Okay, the vaccines and
Oh,
how
my.
it changes our DNA structure. Those mRNA things that they've got out there, and then we get into our school system, and they're doing things. A friend of mine, just as a warning to those out there, her daughter just got a job, and she just graduated college, and she got a job. Well, there were a lot more candidates that could had higher grade scores than her and everything. And the reason that she got the job was because she could read and write in cursive. All the ones that were smarter than her, had the better grades, could not get the job because they could not read or write in cursive. Our founding
That's
documents are in
insane.
cursive writing,
That's
and they won't
insane.
teach it any longer. The only
Well,
place I found teaching cursive writing is an Amish school. Okay.
yeah. Well, there's also something weird that's going on too, and I can't remember. It was in a movie, but it was a movie clip, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. They even made a thing about it, where all of a sudden these girls and some women are doing it, where their voices are either super high pitched, and they talk really fast, or they do this, they do this thing like this, and they talk like that,
Yeah, I don't
and
like the Betty Boop voices.
and then
Okay.
and then in the movie, the guy goes, "Why are you talking like that?" And she's like, "Because I feel it's like that." And it's like they brought that up when I guess there was an interview with Miley Cyrus, and she was talking, and she's like, "I don't know." I was like, Why are you? What is that? What is that? You know,
Yeah,
what is that even?"
and our children these days, they're uh, trying to. Well, first off, it starts with our president. Okay, the Biden administration has made exporting the alphabet mafia ideology as a key foreign policy priority. Why? If I we both watched. What was the name of that show we just watched? Where they were talking to the
Cool.
guys in Africa. Oh, what is a woman?
Yeah.
And one dictionary has already taken the word woman out of the dictionary completely. And he'd gone to Africa, and they were talking about the transgender issue and so forth. And they're like, we never heard about that. And, we don't want
Yeah.
that here. They thought that was absolutely crazy. But our administration thinks that trying to convert these different countries to accept this ideology is a key foreign policy issue. You know, maybe we ought to figure out our power grid and oil and gas exports and food exports and things like that before we start just trying to turn the entire world into a nightmare. People don't understand
Yeah.
what they're doing. And GoFundMe, great big GoFundMe, okay, hosts allows the people to host sex change surgery fundraisers for minors. Now, why would you do that?
They want to destroy. They want to destroy the very image of our children, because then they know they're not going to last very long. But and it's like another way. If you can't get them with abortion, we'll get them this way. We'll take them out this way. And it's that and they're it's like the enemy is creating all his own type of people,
Right.
that he's
You know,
stripping them from God's image
and they're
in how
trying
he
to do it
created us.
with our infants and toddlers. The
Oh,
Cartoon Network this Saturday is going to premiere a new LGBTQ inclusive episode by getting a transgender bear. And on We Baby Bears, they're going to talk about, teach kids about proper pronouns and correcting their pronouns and so forth. You know, uh, God gave you a pronoun, okay? You were born either male or female, and they seem to have forgotten that in the world today. And now you can just leave it
yes.
blank until the kid decides in some states, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they're expelling kids from school who wear a T-shirt that says there are only two genders. You know, what is this ideology that you've got going on here? The Bible says God made them male and female. That's two genders. All those
Yep.
animals on the arks, that was two genders. Every animal has
Mm.
two genders also. And so, but now it seems to be becoming illegal to even say that there are just two genders.
Yeah. It's illegal because to them, because they don't want to hear it. But it's the
Hmm.
truth. That is the biggest culprit there, is the truth. And if you read in our throughout our uh, um, Declaration of Independence, and if you read in our Constitution, We stand for the truth because they pulled the same stuff back with when before America was its own country, before we were able to, Thomas Jefferson and them decided, hey, let's do this. And then when they said, why don't you just make it, I have our own country, why don't we do that? And, you know, truth. They have lied to so many people thinking, I mean, they did it in Germany too. They did it in
Yeah.
Germany. And the problem
And
is,
go ahead, finish your statement there,
no,
lady.
oh, I was going to say that the problem is there are people out there, and you know who you are. And I got to steal this from Jim Caviezel because he called you the middle third, which puts you a fence sitter, which makes you kind of a lukewarm, where you know what's going on, you know all about it, you talk about it, you make your remarks, and then you go on with your day, and you just try
Right.
not to let that interfere. And you're the ones, if you that give the notice that, hey, this is okay, and then you'll stand back and go, oh, I didn't know really what else to do. Yes, you do know. Yes, you
Stand
do
up,
know.
make your voice heard.
Is it
You know, get
exactly
on a letter writing campaign. Elect people that want the truth in our country instead of going off on these wild tangents. Part of the I love watching Josh Hawley the other day when a lady could not even understand a portion of the Constitution, but Biden wanted her to be appointed to a certain position, and he really went after her. That was a good day.
oh yeah, he did something fierce, and it's like that's it's like they they are uh they are applauding, and like I said, the other day to you, that they're taking mental illness, serious mental illness, and physical impairments, cognitive impairment, and they're dressing it up and putting a bow on it and say, "There you go." I mean,
Right,
Fetterman's not fit at all. Biden should be in a retirement home, or he's retiring at his house. He
right.
should be,
Yeah.
whatever. I
Well, and then
instead
he took that stance and put the new pride flag up there in a more prominent position than our own national flag. That's against our flag code. Why did you put
exactly.
that up there? That's not the way that you treat our country and our flag.
Exactly, exactly. And when I seen that, I said, "Well, you just declared it that you have raising that flag. Welcome to Babylon." It
Hmm.
has shown its colors. It's shown itself for what it really is. This is Babylon, and we're back to Christianity fighting against Babylon. And if you can, and to that point where we have to be like the Elijahs. We've got to be the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and the Daniels, and not bow down when they play this garbage music. Do not bow
Hmm.
down to the gods of this world. You got to stand up against it. Are you going to face persecution? Yep, you are. You
Oh,
are.
yeah. You will
But
face persecution, but save your children. This is
yes,
insanity that's going on in our country. Some
exactly.
states are not even, I don't think they're safe to be in because, you've got all kinds of homeless camps all up and down major thoroughfares and, major streets in a city. And, they're let's see, Oregon decided that you can take any drug you want. So all drugs are legal. There's nothing illegal in the way of drugs in Oregon.
See,
But like I say, a Christian cannot adopt a child in Oregon, though. So, what kind of
that's
insanity is that? And, a number of parent organizations are tracking thousands of schools right now that actually advise the teachers on how to hide gender transitions from the parents. You know, those are a parent's child. They don't belong to the state. They don't belong to the school. And, having them be able to go into, they keep extra clothes there. So if you want to change from looking like a girl when you left your house to looking like a boy when you got to school, they're promoting it. And the UN right now is developing international censorship standards. Okay, we should not be censored in this state. In this country, we have free speech, and they're trying to take that away from us, and they're accomplishing it.
That's why. Well, it's because people are going along with it. That's the thing. It's not really set in stone, but because they say it, people believe that this is how it is. But if you take that to court, it doesn't have a leg to stand on. It's not legal.
Right.
And you have every right to speak what you want. But because they're dumbed down and brainwashed, they believe that, oh, you can't do this. It's like, oh, yes, I certainly can. I certainly can, because that's one of my constitutional rights. I certainly can. And these people don't see that. They just do not. And it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. We need to, if you have not ever read the Constitution of the United States, I beg of you to do so. And if you haven't and you find it hard, tune into our show, because we are going to break down the Constitution for you, and you'll be shocked at how many rights you didn't even know that you have, that you can exercise. And it's crazy, but you need to know your constitutional rights.
Well, our constitutional rights will be invaded here just shortly. Matt will not stay here all day long and broadcast us, so we're getting close to the end of the show. He is going to cut off our free speech here in 2.5 minutes. But thanks for joining me. And, we want everybody to tune in for our show, Black Robe Patriots, 2:00 in the afternoon on the fourth Sunday of every month. And hopefully we can get enough people that want to watch the show that we can expand that to maybe another day or something. But we need the people in this country to understand their rights, to understand what our Constitution says, to take back what they are stealing from us. That's what they're doing. They're stealing our rights. And, people need to know that, and they need to, churches need to get out of the shadows and just stop being little mice in the background and not bringing out what's going on in our world. If the churches and the patriots would all stand up for what our country was built on, we would not be in the situation we are these days. I don't know this country, okay? Right now we have more illegal immigrants coming across the southern border than we have babies being born in our country. That's an invasion. And we've been invaded, and we can't allow that. We've got to fix that. God had lots of walls in the Bible.
Exactly. And just to keep in mind, if you look in the Bible and you read, this is why America flourished, because we had God in this country. And 2 Corinthians 3:17, it says, the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty or freedom. There's our freedom and liberty. Why did we have that? Because America is built on godly principles. We built up on the Lord. We built on Him, and that's why it flourished the way that it did. But He's been removed, but we're bringing Him back with your help.
Yep. With your help, we want to bring him back. And so your help also could be to go to axmediagroup.com and push the little donate button, and we're always looking for more sponsors so that we can continue our programming. And so that's our little tip here, just go and push that donate button. And Matt is sitting over there, and I've reached my time limit. So thank you again for joining me, Cyndi.
Oh, my pleasure.
We'll see you all next week.